$55 million is what the top 7 TikTok creators made in the year 21-21, in the year 25-25. What a great song that was. Anyway, in the year 2021, according to Forbes. And the crazy thing about that is, the majority of that doesn't even come from TikTok itself. In fact, the majority of that doesn't even come from brand deals in the traditional sense. It's more about how they structure their monetization strategy and their brand. Because it seems like they're all pretty smart, if you ask me. And if you think about it, most of them were regular people with 0 followers before 2020. And taking a look at them, we can all implement some of their strategies into our own brands and make at least the same amount of money they make. Of course, adjusted for follower numbers, but let's talk about that. Now, if we standardize that, because we sort of want to have an overview, and take a look at how much these creators get on average per follower, we can see something pretty interesting. For example, Charli D'Amelio, according to Forbes, with her 133 million followers, made $17.5 million last year, which equals around 13 cents per follower. Her sister Dixie, even though she got just 10 million last year, got on average 17 cents per follower. Addison Rae, the number 3, got about 10 cents per follower. So we can see there's sort of a range already. Now, seeing as those are the biggest creators on TikTok, and I know another dude who makes YouTube videos who also earns his income through social media, let's take a look at his numbers. Yours truly. Hey Dominic, hard for me to say my audience size. Let's just say 150K, because I have right around 100K on YouTube. Not yet, but soon, hopefully. About 50K on Instagram, even though we can't really say because there's an overlap. Whatever, just for the sake of making this simpler. Last year, I made right around $680,000 coming through my social media. Actually, that was all that I made. There's nothing more. And with my agency, with my products, with some deals, actually no deals, but with everything together, I made a video about that. I made right around $680,000 last year, which equals, and this is probably very interesting for you, on average $4.53 per follower. Thanks for that, pal. I never said thank you. Now, this might sound like a lot compared to, you know, these big people, you know, if you standardize that. However, creators like me who basically teach people things who are not entertainment first channels, I actually just monetize a small portion of my audience with my products, with my agency, with my services, and those people actually monetize their whole reach and, you know, actually the entertainment first. Thinking about it right now, what about Ali Abdaal? Because he's actually pretty big and I actually enjoy his content quite a lot, and he's also knowledge-based. Let me just take a look at him. $1.59 per follower. Now, with that being said, you can see there's a range. It depends which niche you have. Depends on what your followers want from you. If they just passively consume your content, obviously it's gonna get lower, even though the potential reach is bigger. However, if you are in a very narrow niche, you know, for example, Ali Abdaal is not in a very narrow niche, but I'd say I'm in a lot narrower niche than Ali Abdaal. This average per follower number can go up. With that being said, they still don't make the majority of their money with sponsored posts and brand deals. Because according to Forbes, the top TikTokers, they just make it right around between 30 and 50% of their revenue through brand deals and sponsorships. And typically a creator of their size can charge between $100,000 and $250,000 per sponsored post. But what's the rest, you ask? Because it's still only 30 to 50%, and probably the majority of what you thought. It's actually real business, believe it or not. People leveraging their personal brand, first and foremost, to create something that lasts even when they become old and boring. Not that there's anything wrong with becoming old and boring. Maybe that's even what they want. Probably that's even what they want. But the main keyword is create something that lasts even if the platform is gonna explode. Like Instagram, for example. I've heard a rumor between you and me, their servers will literally explode once they hit 10 trillion likes on the platform combined. For example, the clothing brand of the D'Amelios, Social Tourist, that they've made together with Hollister for distribution. Obviously, if you have followers, you have a whole different leverage. You could partner with huge brands with an immense amount of reach offline. You know, and that's the keyword here, offline, that's not just attached to their social media brand. And this is where the real business actually comes into play. And other creators just branching out into different creative fields, you know, because it makes a lot of sense since they're creators. For example, making music, going on a tour, where Addison Rae, she has signed a multi-movie deal with Netflix. Now, what can you take away from that? What can you implement in your social media strategy right now, taking a look at these numbers and their strategy? First of all, get pumped up, people. You know, if they could do it, you could do it too. Because like I said, most of them had 0 followers in 2020. Just crazy to think about that. You don't need years of experience being a creator nowadays anymore. You know, what's your excuse? Literally, what's your excuse? Let me know down below in the comments. The best, worst excuse was the spot in my program, the IG Black file, when the new huge update drops in a couple of months or something like that. Also, diversify your revenue streams beyond just social media. Also, adjust your monetization strategy based on your audience size. You know, as you can see in my example, there's a pretty big difference between you know, how much you can make depending on your content and your niche, obviously. And taking a look at my example, like I said, I'd say I do pretty well, to be honest, without wanting to brag, even though I make a ton of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. You know, just researching for this video, figured out how many mistakes I make, how stupid I am, to be honest. Also, for example, I didn't take any brand deals in 2020 and 21. No brand deals at all. So maybe I'm gonna take a bunch of them this year just to see, you know, just to see and just to document this whole process, obviously for science, not for the money. And thirdly, because I see so many, especially smaller creators, creating just another merch line of these boring mugs and t-shirts that nobody really cares about. Why not take this idea and create a real brand that could potentially live without you being alive at one point? For example, my hoodie. You know, that's not out yet, which is, by the way, algorithm friendly. The algorithms won't detect you and cut down your reach, but you still can sort of say it because people are smarter than algorithms still a little bit. It's not out yet, but there will be a drop. But this would be an example that I could just market the right way and it could live totally without me. It has nothing to do with me, obviously. And if you want to tap deeper into various revenue generating streams with your Instagram, with your TikTok, you need to watch this video where I'll break it down for you no matter which audience size you have.